Hey, happy second day of Clean Week. I hope everyone's doing awesome. They tried some new recipes, did a new workout. Today, I want to talk a little bit about utilizing food as fuel, about recovery and rest, and about self care. First, let's talk about utilizing our food as fuel. So, I posted a link about macro and micronutrients. We really want to look at our food relationships differently. We want to look at food as energy versus food as comfort and emotions. And we really want to utilize our food to fuel our bodies and to make us feel good. Really looking at like what we should be eating, when we should be eating it. And everybody is going to have a different version of what works for them when it comes to like how much and how often we should eat. So if you need help calculating like how many calories you should be having based on how active your lifestyle is, I can absolutely help with that. But, you really want to make sure that you're keeping your blood sugar very consistent. So I like to eat smaller meals more often. But I have also tried to do like the 3 solid meals a day without snacks. And I find I'm a snacker. I just like to kind of mindlessly eat sometimes. And I find that throughout the day, I just need like a little bit of pick me up. So be it like crunchy vegetables or like some sweetness from some fruit. I just feel like I need that. But we can definitely talk about what works best for you, what's worked before, and really what to use for snacks. And the quality of your food is going to be important, as well as really, what quantities of food you're eating and when you're eating them. So I posted a link, like I said, about macro and micronutrients. So your macronutrients really are your carbs, your proteins, and your fats. So carbs you can get from grains, from fruits, from vegetables. Proteins you're going to get from like lean meats and eggs. And then fats you could get from butters or avocados. And we can definitely at some point talk about healthy fats versus unhealthy fats as well. But you hear a lot of people nowadays talking about instead of counting calories, they count macros. But you don't usually hear anybody really talking about micronutrients. And that's one of the things I love about Shakeology is it has a ton of micronutrients in it. And micronutrients are really what our body is asking for. So those are like the vitamins, the minerals, the enzymes. So when you're having food cravings, a lot of times you're missing some of those micronutrients and not really the macronutrients. So you really are fueling your body and your different parts of your body systems and your cells with everything they need. And all of those vitamins and minerals have so many different things that help make our systems run smoothly. So if you want, we can get into some more specific vitamins and minerals and which are more important to have. Like we're in winter right now, so vitamin D is a big one. We want to make sure that we're supplementing a little bit with vitamin D because we're not seeing the sun as often. And vitamin D, not only is it good for our bones, but it's definitely good for our mental health as well. A lot of times when someone's feeling a little down in the dumps, a little bit of seasonal affective disorder, I just ask them to take some vitamin D, and it's amazing. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I've been taking this for a couple days, and I feel like so much better." Because it's harder for our body to produce if we don't have it through sun. But I posted that article. Please take the time to read through it. I know it's long, and I know some of these videos are long, but really take this week to start that educational piece of it, and really just kind of building a solid foundation and looking at food a little bit differently and what it really does for our body, as well as rest. We really want to make sure we're getting at least 8 hours of sleep, and I'm just as guilty. Like, it's so hard for me. I don't even know the last time I've had 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep. But we want to make sure that our body is getting that ample time to rest and recover. So I know a lot of people like to have that before bedtime snack, but I really encourage people to not eat an hour or two before they go to bed so that their body isn't working on digesting our foods and it's actually working on healing and repairing our body through the day. Especially as we're doing these workouts, as we're starting to break down the muscle fibers and build new muscles, we really want to make sure that that recovery piece is there. So making sure that we have a little bit of protein after our workouts, be it a protein drink or, a couple eggs or a piece of ham or something like that. We want to make sure that we're putting some protein back as well as a little bit of sugar. So proteins and fruits are really good to have together right after your workout. And then we want to make sure that we're getting a great warm up and cool down because we want to make sure that our body is properly stretching out and preparing itself to do these half-hour workouts, especially if you don't work out as often. You're probably going to be a little sore. So make sure that you pay attention to that modifier. And I would rather you do less reps and have more perfect form than try to push through and do as many reps as Megan is doing in these clean week workouts. And I don't want to see you get injured or to be so sore that tomorrow you can't even work out. I want to make sure that we're still able to climb stairs and sit down and that kind of thing. So making sure you're stretching really, really well. You're drinking at least half your body weight in ounces in water, so you're getting some hydration in there. And that you might have to up your protein levels a little bit. You're taking baths with Epsom salt to help get some magnesium in those muscles and really just help with like the overall soreness, and that's some self-care too. Lock yourself in the bathroom for a half hour with a nice warm bubble bath. A massage. I know massages usually aren't in the budget because they're super expensive, but maybe your spouse or kids will help you out and kind of rub some of your muscles. You can use a foam roller to rub, or just gentle stretching and yoga help as well. And then the self-care piece. And self-care isn't just taking bubble baths and painting your nails and doing face masks. Self-care is really a lot of times taking that quiet time just to quiet our minds. So either sitting in stillness and doing some meditation or some prayer, or just doing some light reading with some personal development books, or, even if it's a fiction book, just taking some time to kind of just chill out, be quiet, listen to some music or read a book, or just like enjoy the ambiance of like a fire or a candle. But taking that time for yourself, especially I know myself as a mother, I really just need that time where like nobody needs anything from me. Sometimes I feel like all I do is like work and come home and mother, and like someone always needs me. So it's sometimes harder to get that time just to myself. But some personal development apps that I find really helpful. There are a few like meditation apps, Simple Habit, Calm, or Headspace, and all of them have free versions, or you can, of course, if you really like them, pay for them. And a really cool app I like is called Think Up, and it is for affirmations, and you record your voice saying the affirmations, which is even better because your mind is going to recognize that it's coming from you versus like somebody else saying it. So you can record these affirmations and then they play them in song, like a really nice gentle song. So I like to do that sometimes before I go to bed or right when I wake up, just like, fill my head with all of those positive thoughts and intentions for the day. I have this app called Pep Talk that's really cool. It's like motivational speakers, and they kind of like string them together, and every day is a different motivational topic. And it's anybody from like Tony Robbins or Martin Luther King or Ray Lewis, or there's a lot of sports figures, but like I swear some days they're just like talking directly to me about what they're saying, and they're kind of my kind of personal development where there's no like BS involved. They're just like, this is what it is. Your alarm goes off at 6, you get up, that kind of thing. But I really find those encouraging. And then podcasts, I love podcasts. Tony Robbins has a really good one. Happier with Gretchen Rubin I really like. And there's one called Operation Self Reset, 10% Happier with Dan Harris, and all of those are free, so you can just go through your app store and get those. And some books that I find really helpful that were really helpful when I first started my journey. Gabrielle Bernstein has quite a few. The Universe Has Your Back, May Cause Miracles, Spirit Junkie. She is very spiritual. She is a Christian as well, but she does a lot of more of like the Eastern practices, and really just kind of focusing on universal energies and spreading love and kindness. So, she has always spoke really well to me, and I have both the hard copy of The Universe Has Your Back and her reading the audiobook. And I know that's quite the investment, but just the way she reads that book, I have listened to that book probably 6 different times, and I haven't listened to it in a while, so I should probably go back and listen to it again. And then You Are a Badass is a really good one for self-confidence. Or if you suffer from jealousy, Girl Code is a really good one, but you really can't go wrong if, you're just picking up any type of self-care book. I feel like after a while I've read so many that some of them, like, the topics seem the same, but it always seems that, like, there's always just, like, a nugget or two that I can pick out of it. But, the personal development piece is huge, really working on gaining your self-confidence, gaining trust in yourself again, and just starting to look at things from different perspectives and, like seeing the glass as like half full sometimes. I know I could get on the worry path and the what ifs, and it's really hard sometimes for me to go from the like, well, what if it goes right? So that's been a mindful habit that I've had to really work on breaking, is, not always being so fearful that like things are going to be bad, that, there really is hope, and what I think about really does attract that energy. And so when I'm worried about something, I want to like focus on what a good resolution to the situation could be versus like really focusing on like all of the negative things that could happen. So I hope some of that stuff was helpful. Please take time to read that Micro and Macronutrients. I could sit here and ramble on about it, but some of those things, it's just easier if you read, or you just kind of have it in your phone as a resource. So I hope we're all having a great night. We got our workouts in. Be sure to check in with the group. Let us know how you're doing today. If you need extra support, please reach out. I know that struggle bus is sometimes hard, especially in the beginning. So reach out to us and we'll see what we can do to help you. But everybody have a great night and rest up.